Good morning.
Good morning, Jayashree. எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
Good morning. Thank you for letting me in. So,
no, actually, it's 1000. There's some technical issue. So we're just trying to sort it out. Actually, I was stuck in the upper of the
okay.
second.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So I just came up.
Okay. I think somebody exited and I have been included. But it's we are at 499 participants. So that itself is very impressive. So very good.
Definitely get 1000, because we have people in the YouTube also, 3,500 in the YouTube.
So thank you for letting me in. Yeah. Good. I'm good to go whenever you are. So
thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, Bhargavi.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good
People have
morning.
logged in on Zoom and YouTube. Thanks for joining us today for how to crack your first interview. There are about 3,500 registered Rotaractors who's trying to log in. There is a small technical glitch. We have updated the Zoom for 1,000, but unfortunately, there is a small technical glitch. It will be solved in 1 minute. It will be solved in 1 minute. So I request for your kind patience. Thank you so much. And we'll start the meeting in another 2 to 3 minutes time.
Bhargavi, I mean, he's sorting it out. I suggest let us start off because let us not wait. It'll get solved in another few minutes. You know, since we are already on both Zoom and thing, let us start off. My system guy will solve it in the next few minutes. Okay, let's start off.
Sure, sir. Am I audible, ma'am? A very good morning to all.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Okay, so sorry for the
Mukta,
technical
you're
issue.
audible.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So sorry for the technical issue,
Mukta,
everybody.
you're not. I'm not able to hear you. We're not able to hear you.
I can hear her perfectly.
Mukta,
Yes, ma'am.
your audio is not clear.
Is it everybody facing the same issue with me?
I can hear her well.
I can able to hear me.
Yeah. I can hear her. Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, Mukta, your audio is not clear.
ma'am, can you please check your connectivity, ma'am? It is audible for others, it seems.
Sorry.
Bhargavi, we can hear you also.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Yeah. We can hear you. We can hear her. Just check your speaker connection.
Mukta, speak out. Speak out. Connect a
Yes,
different
ma'am.
audio.
Ma'am, can you even hear me now? Or shall I just... Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Friends
able
on
to hear
Zoom,
you.
like, are you able to hear Mukta's voice?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay.
Bhargavi, unga laptop volume konjam paarungle. Just check if your volume has been muted or something. Your personal laptop volume.
The problem is solved, Parkvi. We have already got past 500.
Yeah. Very good. Congratulations.
Okay, shall we start the session, sir?
I think wait for Parkavi, madam. She is setting her.
Okay, ma'am. Sure. Sure, we'll wait for.
Because we can all hear one another. So.
Yeah.
Очки stressful on E. So this O is unstressed. So we say this word очки. Очки. Пожалуйста, очки is plural. So we say мне нравятся эти.
What is this which is coming in?
What adjectives we will take for spectacles, очки.
Okay.
Hello.
Синие.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Yeah. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Sure. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity, and a very warm welcome to everybody gathered here virtually in the Sunday morning. So I am Rotaract Mukta Murali, the chairperson of the event How to Crack Your First Interview from Rotaract Club of ISSM Business School. So sorry for the technical issue that happened just now. So we'll start the event soon. So let's start the event with the call-in ceremony. I would request Rotaract Sriman, the president of Rotaract Club of ISSM, to call her himself first.
Yes, I have called it.
You call it. Thank you, Rotaract Sriman. Now I request the presidents of Rotaract Club of JPR, Rotaract Hakash, president of Rotaract Club of LOYOLA, Rotaract Deepak, Madras, Rotaract Rajkumar, GSS, Rotaract Harita, and Rotaract Club of MOP Jhansi Rani, Rotaract Club of New College Hamid Suhail, Rotaract Club of SDNB, Rotaract Kamali, Rotaract Club of AVIT, Shaikh Abdul Basir, Rotaract Club of SIVT, Rotaract Gayatri, to call it themselves. Thank you, Presidents. Now I would like to call upon Rotaract Sriman, the President of Rotaract Club of ISSM Business School, to deliver the welcome speech.
A very good morning to one and all present here in the meet. I welcome and appreciate everyone who dedicated and has taken the time to attend the session to develop your knowledge. I express my heartfelt gratitude to the spectacular speaker of the day, Mr. Joshua David sir from Mphasis, and Mr. Charles Godwin sir from Zoho Corporation, who has accepted our request to be the speaker of this wonderful session. I find immense pleasure in welcoming our chief guest of the session, President-elect Rotarian Jayashree ma'am, Chairman of Youth Service, Rotarian Shivkumar Ishwaran sir, Youth Service Director, Rotarian Pargavi Mahalingam ma'am, Additional Youth Service Chairman, Rotarian P.P. Prasad sir, DRR Comwell, Rotaractor Comwell, DRS Rotaractor Dinesh Kumar from Rotary Club of Madras for accepting our invitation and attending the session. I am so grateful to Rotaract Club of ISSM Business School, JPR, LOYOLA, Madras, GSS, MOP, New College, SDNB, AVIT, and SIVET for the immense support of the event. I also appreciate all other Rotaract clubs and college who extended their aid towards event. Last but definitely not the least, I welcome all the students from various colleges around India who have gathered here in this meet and also in the YouTube live in order to get guided and motivated. Thank you one and all for all for joining the session. I hope all have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotaract Sriman, for your wonderful welcome address. So to moderate this event and help me to conduct this event, I have my friend Rotaract Srinivas from Rotaract Club of ISSM Business School. So he's also eager as much as I am to start this event, right? Are you there, Srini? Okay, I think he also is like having some technical issue this morning, but he's there, I know. Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely, I can hear you.
Sorry about that. That was a small technical glitch. I too am incredibly eager towards this session. But before we begin the session, why don't you brief us about the actual session?
Yes, of course, I will do it. Okay, so the session, How to Crack Your First Interview, is presented by the Youth Service Team of Rotary Club of Madras, along with the Rotary Club of so many wonderful clubs we have. Like, I have to line up the list. Like, we have the first ISSM Business School, and JPR, LOYOLA, Madras, GSS, MOP, New College, SDNB, AVIT, and SIVET. So, a session is going to be for the students, especially for final years, because they have to get some knowledge and idea about the interviews, because they're going to attend the placements in couple of months, right? So this session is absolutely for them. And I have the wonderful speakers for this session. So both of them are like top HRs leaders, and we are actually eager to listen to them. So this is about a small gist of this whole session.
That actually sounds incredible. I'm sure all of the participants here, everyone who's tuned in today is just as interested and as eager as I am today.
Yeah, so absolutely, like before we get in the session, I would like to hear a few couple of words from the chief guest. So first of all, I would like to request Rotarian Jayashree ma'am, the president-elect of RCM, to give a couple of words to the audience, ma'am.
Spotlight her. Mukta, spotlight her, ma. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Muted. Muted.
Jayashree, you're muted.
Only now the host allowed me to unmute.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Good morning, my dear Parkavi, Rotarian Parkavi, and Shivakumar Ishwaran, and the most enthusiastic and vibrant Rotaractors, because only you people can put up a program like this with this huge number of participants, and absolutely impressed and inspired by coming the way you all have come together for this. I have been given only 2 minutes, so let me just quickly go to the points. I don't want to keep you away from the speakers. Any Rotaract event, very recently in the month of March, I was part of your Check Ahead event. There's so much enthusiasm, there's so much participation from all of you. And all of you are at the threshold of a life where you are finishing your education and you are now going to enter the corporate field as employees of very big organizations. So here is a program which has been put together by Rotary Club of Madras. And it is an opportunity for you to learn how to crack your interview. I'm sure you all are aware why an interview is so important, because nobody employs anyone by just seeing the resume. Because as if I am the employer, I can go through hundreds of resumes sent to me on mail or on a piece of paper, but I would like to meet the candidate. Now, when I meet the candidate, I am trying to find out a little more than what the resume can say. And I'm sure that you have industry leaders from HR who are going to be talking to you. They will tell you what is it that they are looking for. They are obviously, we can all read resumes. We know when you were born, where you studied, how much you have studied, what is your qualification, what are your other interests, all that is there. However, I, as an employer, or I, as a HR person, would like to see the candidate to understand a whole lot of other things which cannot be captured in an email or a piece of paper. So this is what I am sure they will highlight and tell you how you can face your first interview. I wish you all the best. And I am so grateful for the chief guests, the people from the industry who have taken time off on a valuable Sunday to guide our Rotaractors. And thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. That was so wonderful to hear, ma'am. Thank you. Now, may I request Rotarian Bhargavi Mahalingam, ma'am, the Youth Service Director of ORCM, to talk a few words, ma'am.
Yeah. Good morning, all of you all. Happy morning to all of you all who have logged in, both in Zoom and also in YouTube. Sorry for the technical glitch earlier. It was something which is unavoidable because we updated the Zoom yesterday and somehow there was a technical glitch. How to crack your first interview? First, thank you, Jayashree ma'am. It was a wonderful initiation from your end to be into our program and be a chief guest for our program and motivate our Rotaractors, all our young Rotaractors who have registered for the 3,500 young Rotaractors who have registered for this wonderful program. How to crack your first interview? The topic itself is an highlighted topic because all of us go through our education for about 17 plus years, say 12 years in your school, 3 years after 3 years or 4 years in your graduation or your postgraduate. You also take up your postgraduation and you go for your interview with all the big qualifications. You go for an interview. Well, while you sit for an interview, you have 100 odd people for one single position. So the interviewer will try to understand you, will choose the best among all the 100 odd people. But how to crack that one position, how to be into that position and how to get into that organization is the most important factor. Is that what you deliver in that 5 minutes, 10 minutes and all that? Most of us, even including me, when I finished my graduation, when I attended my interview for the very first time, they asked, okay, tell me something about yourself. That question, we jiggle, because we are first time attending the interviewers. We are shivered for a while. We could not be ourselves. We know the content, we know what we are, but still we are not able to put it right. So all this trouble all of us have. So this is a very important topic because our speakers are going to tell you the tricks. Our speakers are going to tell you how to really avoid all that problems and crack your first interview. We have beautiful speakers today. I welcome both of them to help our Rotaractors because somewhere about 3,500 odd people are joining in this live program. I wish you give your best, both the HRs, and thank you for joining us today. And it's the most important. I don't want to take much of time because the speakers' time is so much important. So thank you so much for inviting me. And as a youth services team, we put up a lot of programs like this for the Rotaractors. And I'm sure the Rotaractors are enjoying it and making it very, very useful. And on a Sunday morning, Jayashree, Shivkumarishwaran, and the guest speakers for the day have come here. I wanted all the Rotaractors to use the maximum utilization of all the speakers today. And thank you so much for joining on call. And MC, please take over and have a great day.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. It was wonderful to hear to you, ma'am. Especially the tell me about yourself. It's really true. I have experienced that. So thank you, ma'am. So now I would like to welcome Rotarian Shivkumar Ishwaran, sir, the Youth Service Chairman of RCM, to speak few words, sir.
Sure. President-elect Jayashree, our Youth Service Director Bhargavi, our Additional Chair Prasad, our Faculty Coordinator for ISSM Business School, Ranjit sir, dear Rotaractors, I'm really thrilled that our Youth Service team under the chairmanship of the ISS Business School Rotaract Club is doing this brilliant initiative. Sriman Anandi, you people have always done a wonderful job, and you've just been in Rotaract for the last few months, but it looks like as if you're a very seasonal Rotaractors. Wonderful job, of course, Ranjit sir, the ably, the wonderful faculty coordinator of our ISSM Business School, is always there to support us in all our activities, including Raila. He was the backbone of it. Thank you, Ranjit sir. for really putting this up. I'm sure without your inputs and help, this would have never happened. I also like to thank our 9 clubs for joining ISSM Business School in bringing up this event. ISSM Business School is a brilliant school of business. I've been there more than 10 times, and I've always been awed by both the school and its managing director, Parthi Mahalingam. In the recent survey, ISSM Business School has been awarded one of the best business schools in South India, one of the best schools in Chennai, and one of the best schools in India itself. So I'm really proud that we, the Rotary Club of Madras, are associated with such a wonderful institution. How to crack your first interview is a great topic. I think this is something which is much needed, because most of our Rotaractors, especially the leadership, they're all from college, and most of them in the final year of college. So this is something which they would really require, because as they go up into this great world, which is not like a school or college, they would need to do something which is out of the box. They would need to do something that they feel, the people who take the interview feel their presence. The only way it is possible is getting them inclined to certain set of values and systems. And I think these 2 speakers who have been given this opportunity by ISSM Business School and our Rotary Parthi are the best in this HR industry. I'm sure they will give you a whole lot of insights on how to crack your first interview. My only advice to my fellow Rotaractors is to just be what you are, what you are, because you are a wonderful leader. All of you are wonderful leaders. You've done wonderful in your profession. So and also you've done wonderful in Rotaract. Be what you are, just be yourself. I'm sure you'll be able to crack this interview, come out in flying colors, and get the position you require. Thank you, ISSM Business School, Rotaract Club, Rotary Parthi, and the entire clubs of our RCM who have brought this forward. And this is the best thing, and actually most apt. Thank you for inviting me. I'm sure this event will be a super duper success, and we will continue to do this year after year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That is really great to hear from you, sir. Now I will request Rotarian Prasad, sir, the Additional Youth Service Chairman, to talk few words on the session.
Mukta, please check whether Prasad is online.
Okay, ma'am. I'll tell to my team. Okay, it seems he's not joined, ma'am. So I'll just continue.
One information for all of you all, for all the Rotaractors who have joined on call, you will get an e-certificate end of the program. It is an automatic generated certificate. So I wish you stay there for the entire program. Only then a registration form you will get it, and you will get an automatic e-certificate that you have participated in this online program. So please stay there for the entire program. You will be definitely benefited by the e-certificate.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, what ma'am said was really true. And the e-certificate form, if you need, you will get a form which will be putting it in the chat box of YouTube as well as in Zoom at the end of the session, and it will be expired within 10 minutes. So we would like to ask you to stay in for the whole session, and it will really benefit for you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Now I would like to call upon Rotaractor Kamuvel, sir, the DRR of the club, to speak few words in the session.
Thank you so much, Murli. I'm audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you so much. And Chief Guest of the President elect Jayashree Ma'am, President Rotary Club of Madras 22-23, and Youth Service Director Pargavi Magalingam Ma'am, Rotary Club of Madras, and Shiv Kumar Ishwaran sir, our own PDRR and Rotaract Chairman from Rotary Club of Madras, and Rotarian P.B. Prasad sir, Additional Rotaract Chairman, and Speaker of the Day Charles Godwin sir, and from Zoho, and Joshua David sir from Mphasis, and wonderful Rotaractors, and 9 other host clubs and wonderful Rotaractors who are all present here. Very good afternoon to everyone. So ரொம்பவே ஹாப்பியா இருக்கு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஈவெண்ட் வந்து ஹவு டு கிராக் ஒரு இன்டர்வியூ அப்படின்றது வந்து ஒரு சின்ன செட் ஆஃப் பீப்புளுக்கு மட்டும் இல்லாம என்டையரா எவ்வளவு பேருக்கு மேக்ஸிமம் கொடுக்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஆர்சிஎம் ஒரு வண்டர்ஃபுல்லான இனிஷியேட்டிவ் எடுத்துட்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. ஸோ ஒவ்வொரு இனிஷியேட்டிவுமே ஆர்சிஎம் எடுத்துட்டு வரது எல்லாமே ரொம்ப பெரிய லெவல்ல ஒரு இனிஷியேட்டிவா தான் இருக்கு. ஸோ அது பார்க்கும்போது ரொம்பவுமே ஹாப்பியா இருக்கு. அண்ட் ஒரு இன்டர்வியூ எப்படி அட்டன் பண்றது, ஒரு 3200 பீப்புள் ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணி அட்டன் பண்றதுன்றது இதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் நான் பாக்குறேன். அண்ட் இது அவ்வளோ ஈஸியான ஒரு விஷயம் கிடையாது. லைக் ஒரு 3200 பீப்புளுக்கு ஒரே நேரத்துல ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி எந்த அளவுக்கு வளருதோ அந்த அளவுக்கு நம்மளோட ரோட்ராக்டர்ஸ்க்கு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டியும் அந்த அளவுக்கு அதிகமா கிடைக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஆர்சிஎம் ஒவ்வொரு தடவையும் பிளான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் Rotary Club of Madras for constantly doing this kind of activities. அண்ட் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் ரோட்டா கவுன்சில் வந்து எப்பவுமே இந்த மாதிரியான விஷயத்துக்கு என்ன சப்போர்ட்னாலும் பண்றது ரெடியா இருக்கும். அந்த டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் ரோட்டா கவுன்சிலுக்கும் உங்களோட சப்போர்ட் எப்பவுமே தேவை. அண்ட் வித் திஸ் நோட் லெட்ஸ் ஹவ் டு சேஞ்ச் லைஃப், எம்ப்ரேஸ் சேஞ்ச். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் வண்டர்ஃபுல் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி. எல்லாருமே உங்களுக்கான இன்டர்வியூ எப்படி இருக்கும்ன்றதையும் நீங்க ரெண்டு வண்டர்ஃபுல்லான ஸ்பீக்கர் இருக்காங்க, அவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து கத்துக்கோங்க. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். We have got 4,300 registration. Sorry, 3,200 காலையில சொன்னாங்க. ஸோ அதுக்குள்ள ஒரு 1000 ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன்னா ரொம்பவே ஹாப்பியா இருக்கு இதை பார்க்கறதுக்கு. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
Yes, like students are really interested in listening to our speakers because today morning we got around 4,300 plus registrations, which is really amazing. So thank you so much for your words, sir. Now I would like to call upon Rotaract Dinesh Kumar, the DRS, to talk few words of the event.
Thank you so much, Mukta. To start off with, we have amazing dignitaries here, right from Jayashree ma'am, who's going to be the future leader of RCF Madras, one of the privileged clubs. We have Dr. Parkevi Mangalingam, who has, dedicated her 8 years of life just for serving this youth. And we have Shivkumar Ishwaran sir, who is our guiding factor and our past leader, and other members of the event who is attending how to crack your first interview. First of all, a very warm program greetings. To start off with, to just tell about the speakers, I'm just amazed to see two amazing companies, people from two amazing companies who have come forward to address you, right from Zoho and Mphasis. Both these companies' valuation are somewhere around 35,000 crores. Can you just imagine the amount of value these companies have as such? And these people are from these big institutions to actually let you know how to crack your first interview, how they are going to get people, how they are going to get you into their companies. So this is very much the need of the hour. And I'll tell you, friends, the practical how the industry works. We have companies who spend more than 20-25 lakhs per annum just to get a software to search people. And on the other hand, we have 15 to 20 lakh people as such who are searching for a job. This bridge, when we match this bridge, we create an amazing synergy, and I think this is what this event is all about. So thank you so much, ISSM Business School, along with all the host clubs and Rotary Club of RCM for making this event happen, and 4,500 people who are going to get benefited. I think this is the biggest online event which has happened ever now in the history of RAD 3232. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to address you all. Make the most out of this opportunity. On this note, this is Rotaract Dinesh signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotaract Dinesh sir. And most of the registrations வந்து நீங்க தான் help பண்ணீங்க. I'm really thankful to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dinesh, for highlighting. It is one of the highest number ever in RID 3232 event.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So yeah, that was really amazing. Like hearing like your chief guest, நீங்க prove பண்ணிட்டீங்க. Like whatever you said was true about this session. And my friend Srini, don't you feel some energy and enthusiasm after hearing to our chief guest?
Yeah, I completely do. Definitely, Mukta. I do agree with you. A lot of our chief guests, pretty much all of our chief guests, stress on how important our first interview is, how important it is, and how, it is the first thing that a fresher is going to experience. And that this session truly will be helpful for all of the students who are attending today. We have actually had 4,300 registrations, and we're getting even more registrations. Many people are logging in every second right now, even right now. Exactly. So I guess it is time to begin our session today, for which it's time to introduce our magnificent speakers for the session.
Yes. Yeah. Before that, if you have any technical issue in joining Zoom, we are also streaming it in live YouTube. You can also view the session in YouTube. You can also inform your friends, because I am getting some messages that you're not able to join Zoom. So please also join in the YouTube to view the session fully. Yeah. So as you said, it's time to, introduce our guest. Introduce our speaker of the session. So yes, I'll go first. So I find immense pleasure in introducing our first speaker of the session, Mr. Joshua David. So Mr. Joshua is the India campus lead at Mphasis with over 17 years of experience. So Mphasis Limited is an Indian multinational information technology services and consulting company based on Bangalore. And Mr. Joshua is an experienced recruitment manager who thrives on creating order out of chaos. He's energized by wicked challenges and comfortable with ambiguity. He keeps teams on track and has a knack of identifying blind spots and finding elegant solutions to unforeseen problems. He's skilled HR professional with broad experience in aspects of talent acquisition like recruitment, including frontline hiring, vendor management, direct experience in senior level hiring, making reports, data management, planning as a full life cycle recruitment, working within multiple locations in fast-paced environments and induction. His job is to execute end-to-end hiring process with the right recruitment metrics in place and getting market intelligence on time, networking, interviewing, and salary closures and hand-holding till candidates join them. In his current portfolio, he is responsible for hiring across skills, and he personally takes opportunity in exploring various technologies in IT sector. With great honor and pleasure, I kindly welcome our respected speaker of the day, Mr. Joshua David.
Warm welcome to you, sir. Now, I feel happy in introducing our second speaker for the session, Mr. Charles Godwin P. Mr. Charles is a human resource leader at Zoho Corporation with over 16 years of experience in the entire gamut of people, programs, and processes with renowned IT industry. Zoho Corporation obviously is an Indian multinational technology company that makes web-based business tools. Mr. Charles has extensive exposure to manage change during acquisitions and mergers, building capabilities and talent during high growth phases, executing apt HR interventions. His plethora of specializations include talent acquisition, retention, talent management, engagement and development, employee relations, interventions, compensation management, performance management, administrations of policies, programs, and many, many more. He's also a prominent speaker in student and industry forums and has delivered over 1,500 guest lectures, speak to young minds. Also, with great honor and privilege, I'd like to welcome our second speaker for today.
Yes, sir. Welcome, Charles, sir. So we feel ecstatic to have two wonderful HRs as speakers of our session. And I'm 100% sure that everybody who's watching this session are going to get benefited and going to crack the interview in their placements. So Srini, so since we are from ISSM Business School and we have some activities conducted so that we know some idea about interviews and corporate and all those things. But many of the students who are joined in the session are doing their undergraduation and they have many doubts in on interviews.
Yes, obviously, yes, Mukta. These students who are pursuing their undergraduation definitely deserve to equip themselves with the knowledge and exposure that we have. That is why we have our speakers today.
Yes, I completely agree with you. And I think now we can call upon a speaker to have some perspective about interview, right? So firstly, I would like to call Mr. Joshua David, sir, to speak few words about interviews and your perspective about the first interview, basically.
Okay, Vanakkam, thank you so much. A lot of guests, I'm sorry, I'm not able to, I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, sir, you are.
Perfect, thank you so much. To all the guests, Vanakkam, to my brother Charles, I'm not very sure, this is one of the rare sequences where we both get into the stage and talk about various stuff to the students, and this is one of the greatest occasion I would name it as. So thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, Babu sir, for this wonderful opportunity to talk to a bigger forum, because me and Charles visit a single college, address 300, 400 people in an arena, in a conference room. But I think Rotarians have really done a great job of bringing close to 4,000 odd people in one arena and getting their doubts cleared. I think these sessions will definitely help the bright minds and the younger society of our country to understand what we really look into the first or how to crack about your first interviews. Okay, I will definitely not give my experience in terms of how did I crack my first interview, because that is definitely not an experience. Because maybe offline, I will tell some people, if at all they're going to get in touch with me on LinkedIn or whatever stuff. But all my 17 years, what I have undergone, what I have the thought process of an interview is 2-3 things, which I'll quickly wrap up, because we also have my brother Charles to talk about more on cracking interviews as such. So first of all, the first question I ask to every candidate who come into my room in terms of interviews is, what is the meaning of your name? I'm not sure how many of the HRs put in the emphasis of understanding who you are, what is your purpose of your life, what is your passion in terms of your life is all about. Because post-COVID and pre-COVID, I really look at more than your ADs and the BCs of the world. I'm talking about to the 21st century people. I want to put across pre-COVID and post-COVID, because post-COVID, we are totally living in a challenging environment. That is one. Tomorrow is not sure, so we need to live for today. And how are we going to take care of ourselves, our family, and the society we are living in? So if somebody has that attitude, somebody has that knowledge, somebody really understands why his presence in this world is very important, that is the first thing I would definitely look for in a candidature. Okay, the second most important thing I always tell is, you may not know the fourth wave or the fifth wave is going to hit the world. So it is going to be a virtual scenario going forward. We have no clue. We are all praying for the offline interviews in the days to come, in the months to come, because we, as a campus recruitment team, we always wanted to be in the college to hire people, and that is most important thing. But if at all virtual is going to hit us, virtual interviews is the way forward. First of all, understand you are going to sit in one place and interviewers are going to sit in another place, and you're going to take up the interviews. So how is your body language? How is your gestures? How is your smile? How is that you're going to interview that person, answer that question to that person is the most important fact. And that is going to be the most important fact of all interviews as such. So that you need to definitely take care. Third important thing is, how are you going to prepare your resume? I always tell in most of the forums is resume or your profile or your curriculum vitae, whatever you call it as. That is the question paper you set for yourself to somebody else to question you. And I'm repeating what I just told you. You're setting a question paper for you to be answered, for somebody else to question you. So you need to set your profiling in such a way that you are able to answer the person who is sitting in opposite you in terms of understanding those aspects. So there are a lot of people who copy paste your friends' resumes. There are people who even put their father's names or their mother's names. You have a same format of resumes. But my point is, what you are capable of, what is that you have done in your life till the day one to the day till now is the most important aspect. So even small things in your life makes a lot of difference, right? A lot of people think interviews are rocket science. Understanding stuff is a rocket science. Definitely no. Somebody who's really good in academics, somebody who really knows the technical stuff, somebody who understands the other person, which is called the communication, I think you are absolutely done. There are a lot of myth which happens today in the industry is, sir, I'm really nervous when I sit for interviews. I still don't know the questions what the interviewer is going to ask. If you're really good in your basics, if you're really good in your fundamentals, and if you really are good in your academics, I think this cracking of your first interview is just a cakewalk. You're just going to sit with the other person, and the person is only going to ask you what you've learned for your 4 years. Most important thing. The problem what we have, I'm not blaming anybody at the end of the day. I'm no one to do that as well. The point is, when we come to second year, we forget the first year of engineering. When we come to the fourth year, we forget first, second, third years of engineering. But only point is, you can be from irrespective of engineering or from your arts and science colleges. But after you complete your graduation, your third year graduation or your fourth year engineering graduation, don't forget your engineering or whatever you studied in your arts and science colleges, my friends. So it is not a myth. It is definitely not a rocket science. If you are very, very clear in what you've studied in your 3 years or in your 4 years, or if your master's in your 5 years, if you're clear enough in what you have done, I think that is very, very clear in terms of cracking the interviews. Okay, so be very clear on it. And somebody was talking about, tell me about yourself. I will just take another 5 minutes to close this, because question and answers is going to be the most important factor. Me, Charles talking, is going to make a lot of difference. But the Q&A session is the most important thing, because I will talk whatever I know. Charles is going to talk about whatever he knows. But at the end of the day, there'll be a lot of questions which we can understand and answer those. That is a prime motive of this session is all about. So the tell me about yourself is the most underrated and the most overrated question in today's interview process. People end the tell me about yourself in maximum 6 to 7 seconds. There are people who complete in 6 to 7 seconds. There are people who can also talk about 2 to 3 minutes. So I will give you a quick mantra of what tell me about yourself and how can you really impress the interviewer in that first 2-3 minutes. Okay, I asked you, I told you in terms of how and what is your purpose in life and what is the meaning of your name. Start with that. Okay, somebody who knows what is existence in this world, I think he is the better person to live and the best person to carry on in his life and his career. Okay, so first understand the meaning of your name. The second most important thing is, from the day we were born till our kindergarten to our sixth, I'm not sure how many of you really remember what happened in our life. But after your 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, what is the school? Why did you really join that school? What is the importance you did really in that school? And what is your hobbies and talents in that school you did? And which teacher literally motivated you? Okay, just recall all those things after the session today, because definitely it's going to be Sunday. You're going to just relax, eat, and you're going to sleep for some time. And then jot on certain pointers of what tell me of yours is all about, because that is going to be your 90% selection criteria in any interview process you're going to sit for. Okay, that is the mantra for any selection which is going to happen. Okay, so that is the first and the foremost thing. The second and foremost thing is, after your 10th, why did you even go to your science or your accounts or your commerce background, and who motivated you to do that? And what is your success rate and what is the percentage you got in your 11th and 12th? Okay, and after your 11th and 12th, obviously the mid portion of your 12th, you could have really decided which college to join. Okay, and why, who made the decision, and how did you really take the decision off? And till now, what is that college has taught you? What is that you're doing? And the past 2 years, everybody were sitting at home and learning with the professors, right? So what is that you've learned about you, your family, and the society you're living for? So my friends, I'm telling you, if you've understood who you are, if you really understood Joshua or Kumar or Charles or Lakshmi as a person, I think cracking an interview is nothing. It's just an interaction with another person. You're going to sit before the interview process and you're going to just have a cakewalk for next 10-15 minutes. The reason why people don't get selected in any organization, I used to talk to my technical panelists. They used to pull me to the interviews and say, Joshua, you just come and sit me for at least a couple of interviews and you'll know the reason why people were not even able to tell what they've studied, because they're still in the college. And we will interview people who are in their 6th or the 7th semesters. Okay, to the larger arena, I'm raising one question: how many of you really know the subject names of what you're studying in your 4 years of your engineering? If somebody knows, hats off. But if you don't know, please start doing it. So that's what I'm just telling you. Small things gives you a lot of breakthroughs in your life. Will give you a lot of importance in your life. And always have mentors in your life. How do I do certain things in my life? How do I get a little forward? And always do one thing. My last and the foremost thing is, compare you with you alone and not with your next friend or your next door person. How did I be better? How could I be better from yesterday to today and today to tomorrow? That will take you to heights. That will take you as a person. That will take you as a human being to the tomorrow society. And thank you so much for the opportunity given. And we'll be happy to answer your questions post Charles' talk.
Well, thank you very much, sir. First of all, that was truly incredible. You gave us a lot of insights on so many things, defining what we are, how we are different from everyone else. I think that is something all freshers or just all people in general need to focus on. And the meaning of your name, that is truly interesting. I've never heard of that before, actually. So thank you for giving us that. And you really gave us an insight on how all small things, everything does really matter. And telling about yourself being overrated and underrated, and at the same time is truly a wonderful talk. And this will truly help us because we never know what will happen in the upcoming months because of COVID and the pandemic. So virtual interviews, gestures, body languages, and how our resume stands out, how we stand out of the crowd truly is important. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I kindly request our second distinguished speaker for today, Mr. Charles Godwin, sir, to deliver his perspective on the matter.
Thank you. A very good afternoon, everyone. So nice to be here this afternoon, addressing about 4,000 plus students. And after a wonderful talk by Brother Joshua, it's very difficult for me to repeat the same things again, but now I would like to share my own journey, my dear friends, to really connect with the concept which Joshua mentioned, and I would like to share some example and few inspiring stories which will really boost each one of us this afternoon. My dear friends, how to crack your first interview. Now, I think my first interview, I don't remember, just 4 questions, simple 4 questions. I passed my interview and I got selected. It's very, very difficult for me to really explain how to crack your first interview. But before getting into that, I will share my own journey, which will help you to narrate your own story, your own journey, or tell me something about yourself for that particular question, which every organization, every HR leader or every business leader will look for. I was born in a big family with about 7, including my parents. Now I had 4 siblings, 4th kid. Right from my childhood, one word which I hate the most is comparison. My dear friends, if you want to be successful, if you want to excel, if you want to crack your first interview, never ever compare with any human being in life. That's the best lesson which I have learned. Till my 9th standard, I didn't know why I went to school. I was actually 9th failed. My parents have been invited for a parent-teachers meeting and everybody said, I have to repeat my 9th. I didn't care about it because I didn't care about the education itself. From the same family, my sister used to score about 100% in her mathematics and minimum 90% and above in all her subjects. When she scores 89% in one of her subjects, she used to scream like anything as though somebody died at home. From the same family, for me, 35% of mark in one particular subject was the biggest success, which I cherished the most. And after a great struggle, the fight between the faculties inside the department, one teacher stood up, Dr. Sujata ma'am. She said, it is my responsibility to ensure that Charles is clearing his board exam. A 9th failed student got an additional support from one faculty and got to appear the board exam during my 10th. First time in life, I didn't study for myself. I didn't study for my parents. I didn't study for my siblings. I studied for Dr. Sujata ma'am. A person who struggled, a student who struggled to score 30-35% of mark in every subject was able to clear with about 50-55% of mark, not for myself, for that particular man, Dr. Sujata ma'am. 11th and 12th came in. My brother and sister had so much of dream in life, and they wanted to do engineering because of all the situation at home. We were not able to, parents were not able to afford, or whatever could be the reason. Each one of us studied in a normal arts and science college. During that time, when I completed my 10th, I was roaming around the city in Coimbatore. I saw, 2 different advertisements. Number one, students who have completed or who can do a certification program in Java, C, C++, HTML, testing, QA, .NET, and so on, they can earn 3,500 per month after their 30 days or 90 days of their certification program. The next poster which I noticed in the same streets, a dosa master paid 12,000 per month. A Baroda master paid 18,000 per month. That was the biggest dream I had in life, my dear friends. I wanted to become, one day I wanted to become a dosa master. If everything goes well, I can become a Baroda master in some time. Because for me, I have studied till my 10th, I have done something. I've cleared my 10th. And I want to earn and give back to my family and run my life for whatever I look for. And I tried convincing my parents, but I couldn't. But 11th and 12th, every parent will have dream for their kids. Same way my dad had a dream that one day I should become a chartered accountant. For me, education itself a challenge. Mathematics or chartered accountancy was much, much more hard. I couldn't convince him, but for his sake, 11th and 12th, I did that particular course. And 12th again, I failed in the board exam. I did my attempt during the September of that particular month, and the entire year have been wasted. The next year, I tried convincing my parents, but I couldn't. But finally landed in a particular college. 2.5 years went by. To cut the story short, one of my senior asked this question. Titus asked this question: what is next? I didn't have an answer. I was so angry on him, angry on myself, because I didn't have an answer for that particular question. And I asked the same question in a very, very polite way. Boss, what is next? What are you doing? He said, no, next 3 years, 5 years, this is where I want to reach. The first day, a sleepless night, I went back home, couldn't sleep. The next day, I went to an internet center, asked the same question to Google, what is next for this particular course? Google threw me about 13 different specializations for that particular program. I took a paper, from that browsing center and wrote all the 13 different specializations. I came back home. 1 week I was at home, had good food, good sleep, and I was just going through that 13 different options. One fine day, I was able to realize and have a conviction, yes, this is the role, this is the program, or this is the professional journey or career which I want to choose and move forward in life. HR, which attracted me. My dear friends, if you want to be successful, find out your strength and see where you can build your career. It's very, very important. Just because somebody is doing an engineering, no, I can't. Then, I did my master's program, completed my master's program in distinction and so on. 3 months without job. I got different opportunities, but I didn't, like the job which came through my way. And I had a cutoff time before September 5th of that particular year. I should get through, in an MNC. And I wrote a diary, where every faculty, every teacher used to say this, during our school days. Write your dreams in your diary. The first dream I wrote in my diary was to meet Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir. There is a saying, what you think you become, right? So I received my convocation invite from my college. It was surprisingly, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir was the chief guest for that particular year 175th convocation ceremony. And then I realized sky is the limit. The second dream I wrote, I want to get into an MNC, within that September month. And I got 3 different opportunities and finally landed up in a particular company, joined the company and so on. Just 4 questions he asked. What's your, as Joshua clearly mentioned, I still, reflect that. What is your meaning? What is the meaning for your name? That was the first question. This happened about 15 years back. And the second question he asked about my family background. The third question he asked, why did you choose this particular course or particular profession? The fourth question he asked, how soon you can join. That's all. Not even few minutes, my interview got over. Now I was there for about 4 or 5 years, and I would like to give some few examples, and I will conclude, my dear friends. The first message which I want to share, which I have already shared, never ever compare with any human being in life, because that's very, very important for you to crack your first interview. You will have your hundreds of competition in the same company, same interview, same day, meeting the same gentleman, who is seated there, but don't worry, give your best. The second learning which I have learned in my life, be focused on what you want to achieve, or find your calling in life, find your purpose in life. The third message which I would like to share in terms of how to crack your first interview, be you. Be you. I don't need to imitate somebody. I don't need to, copy somebody. I don't need to copy another person's resume. If you want to create a resume for yourself, why not you have a 60 seconds of clipping of your own video and present to the interviewers who are going to interview you, rather than having your traditional 10-page or 12-page of resume, which will definitely go to a dustbin in some time, right? We get thousands and lakhs of resumes. So every HR will agree with that. We receive day in and day out. We receive. We don't even have time to look at about 1,000 lakhs of resumes. If you can create a spark by having some creativity, presenting yourself in whichever way, whichever form. On a Sunday evening, on a Sunday, just a couple of weeks back, I was in Pondicherry for one of the biggest job fair. I've seen many students there, many youngsters there looking for opportunity. One gentleman, when I was leaving that particular campus by late evening around 6:30, I was in the car. I was just towards the main gate. One gentleman, one young student, who was running behind the car, literally running behind the car to just give his resume to myself. Now I stayed there, came out of the car, and I was having a casual discussion, and I have invited him for a face-to-face interview at a campus. I've seen thousands of people there, a person with a spark, right? So that's very, very important. Be you, be yourself, who you are, and have your trademark. The next thing which I would like to share, it's very, very important. When you are who you are, branding is something very, very important for yourself. Brand yourself. You don't need to just literally brand yourself. The way you carry yourself creates your own brand. The way you dress, the way you carry yourself, the way you carry your resumes, the way you present your video of 60 seconds of your video, your own story, your own journey, your own resume, your own profile. That defines who you are. That's the branding which I'm referring to. Brand yourself. Along with that, I would like to share, today we have social media as one of the biggest platform, or the strength, one of the strength for the youngsters today to exhibit, who you are. Today, LinkedIn is one of the very, very trending, platform for you to explore, leverage, get opportunities. When you brand yourself in LinkedIn, Instagram, or Twitter, see how you can use those platforms professionally for your career. You might be selected from lakhs and thousands of students. You might be one among the star, from that particular bunch of students. Before releasing the offer letter, I'm sure Brother Joshua will agree with me. Now we would like to know what kind of personality, who you are, right? Before releasing the offer letter, I would like to understand who this person Abhishek is. What you share, what you comment, what you like, what you present yourself in social platform says who you are. My humble request with regard to social media would be stay away from negativity. Find out a space for yourself so that you can build your own brand in whatever platform you are. Finally, to conclude, my dear friends, now I can talk about how to crack your interview, for the next few hours, but to conclude in, for this particular theme this morning, do you have an interesting story to share? Look at an example of, maybe Shankar, director Shankar, movie director Shankar, one of the famous director in Tamil Nadu. One of the famous superstar could be, Rajinikanth or any other star like Talapati Vijay or Ajit or whoever could be. Look at this. Just because Shankar is the topmost director in our Tamil Nadu, Rajinikanth or Vijay or Ajit, will never take risk in signing, a movie without having a discussion, without getting to know the story. My dear friends, you might be a star, you might be one of the top performer in your college, in your state, in your district, my dear friends. Now, do you have an interesting story to share? When you share your story, is it relevant? It is contextual. And do you have an experience to share? These are the three things which an interviewer will look for: a context, relevant, and experience. I would like to share one inspiring story and conclude here. 8 years back, Abdul Alim, one of a security guard who came from North India to Chennai for his survival. The only aim, the dream he had, he wanted to come and settle down in Chennai, earn some thousands and send those money for his family, for his parents. And he was working in a company in Chengalpet. And one fine day, he wanted to shift his company, and he joined our company, Zoho Corporation, 7 years back. And he was working as a security guard literally on the street, near the main gate. After so many months, he got into the main building, for the access controls and so on. One fine day, late evening, one of our senior manager asked a question while leaving home. He asked a question to him, "What is your name?" He said, "Abdul Alim." And the next question from that particular senior manager was, "Now, what is your background?" If I was there, I would have told I'm from a rural background, or I'm from a poor background, or whatever. This gentleman said, Abdul Alim, the security guard said, "During my 9th grade, I have studied Java, HTML." Security guard says, during 9th standard, I have studied Java, HTML, and so on. The next day, both had a coffee together, started getting training from that particular manager. Today, in the last 6-7 years, he's one of our software engineers in our company. Same company, from security to the software engineering role. My dear friends, if you want to be successful, how to crack your interview, have your story ready. Right? An interesting story which can inspire people, a real story which can inspire people. And that's where, interviews or the final offers are decided. I will conclude here, never ever compare with any human being in life, and be yourself, be you. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. That was so wonderful. Like, you started with a statement like, never ever compare ourselves with others, which is really very important in this generation, because people have this tendency to compare ourselves with others, like influence or something, which is that statement is really true. And like, one of the things which was inspiring really was like a student who failed in their academics to a HR leader right now. Really inspiring, sir, truly. And your words, your experience, thank you, sir. It was really inspiring for us, and thank you for your words about Mr. Ali, sir, right? In the card. Yeah, that's really good, sir. So, yeah, now the speech that we heard, like, from Joshua, sir, and Charles, sir, was really inspiring, and like, a lot of things are running in my mind to ask you, both of you. So, Srini, do you feel the same what I feel?
Absolutely. I have so many things running in my mind as well.
Yeah. So, okay, without any delay, we don't want to waste time, because we have a lot of questions to ask you, both of you, sir. So we would like to start with Joshua, sir. Like, I would like to have a question with you. So you are also a fresher at the beginning of your career, right? So how was your first interview? Like, can you share, like, what are the experience, or what was your preparation for the first interview?
Okay, to the larger forum, I don't want to tell the couple of questions which been raised during my interview process. That will definitely not be so appropriate. But my point is, after my master's, we were kind of jobless for quite some time, because even though I studied something called a labor management, and it is totally one of the unique institutes in India, where we've been taught on all the industry relations, personnel management, labor laws, and labor welfare. And we also had the government postings of Commissioner of Labor, Deputy Commissioner of Labor, Assistant Commissioner of Labor. But at that point in time, even IT was so booming, and we got that flavor, right? The glamour of why did we not get into an IT organization? We start off getting into those stuff. See, one thing which I really loved Charles' statement is, be you. I would repeat this everywhere and anywhere I go, is don't copy and be yourself, which is very, very important at the end of the day. From the college days, what we normally do and understand is one person does the project and the rest, the entire 49 population in that class copies from him. Okay, that is college. We are all done. And after we get out of that college, I think you have to be unique as a person. Your success story has to talk a lot than referring to somebody else. Examples are good at the end of the day, but you as an individual, what is your story? And what is that you have done to crack those interviews is very, very important. Understand what you study. That is what the biggest question mark, which I always keep in most of the colleges where we go and address. Sir, I'm not very sure whether I can talk in Tamil because you told India population is looking at, I'll be very specific about English.
You can, sir.
Yeah. So, sir, என்ன படிச்சா வேலை கிடைக்கும்? நீங்க அந்த கேள்விக்கு போயிட்டாலே நீங்க உங்களை பத்தி அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணலந்தான் என்ன பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஒரு அர்த்தம். See, that is one of the reasons very few people when the pandemic hit, including Charles' brother and Kenneth sir, Daniel, there are a lot of people who took an oath of talking to youngsters through virtual media, even though we were not able to go in person and address people, but we really thought எனக்கு பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் சார்ல்ஸ்லாம் I'm not sure how far he is managing his work and college stuff. அவர் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு ஒரு 200-250 செஷன்ஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பாரு இந்த பேண்டமிக்ல. நான் ஒரு 50-60 பண்ணியிருப்பேன். Why I'm telling you all these things is we are there to make the people understand because we are closely interfering with the academicians and the industry experts. Nate, I was one of the chief guests in one of our Thanksgiving meet in one of the colleges in Bangalore. I'm today in Bangalore. I'll be back to Chennai today. Adula the head of talent acquisition and campus recruitments, Mr. Teach, came and spoke about AI. Somebody was talking about AI, but he gave a beautiful example of AI. AI is not artificial intelligence. AI is all about academics and industry. How academicians and industry are going to go hand in hand. I think that is going to be the success factor of all the students who are participating here and the future students who will definitely participate in those events. So I think continuous enrichments and enlightenments to all the students, I think definitely we will have a better people coming into the industries. We will have better people coming into the institutions. I'll definitely make a better India tomorrow.
Superb, sir. That's very nice to hear from you. Okay. So, Srini, you have any question? You can ask them right now.
Yep, I do. First of all, thank you very much, sir, for providing us with that, how academics and industry, instead of the AI, how that is important and the unique story one provides. Speaking of freshers or the students who appear for the first interview, fear is something that is unavoidable. You could go as far as to say that humanity has risen this far because of curiosity and fear. So fear is unavoidable. So how do you overcome your fear? How do you overcome your fear when you're attending your first interview? Because everybody gets nervous, everybody gets anxious. I couldn't speak during my first interview. So how can students overcome that anxiety?
This question is to me or Charles?
Both of you, sir. I guess Joshua, sir, you could answer first and then followed by Charles, sir.
Okay. Fear, the most...
Joshua, sorry to interrupt a minute. Students, the Rotaractors who are on call, please post your questions in chat box and the moderators will take further. Please post your questions in your chat box. Thank you, Joshua, for...
No problem, ma'am. Okay, fear and the வார்த்தை நான் திரும்பியும் சொல்றேன், it is the most overrated word, if that Charles also can admit to it. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு அது தேவையில்லாத ஒரு விஷயம் வாழ்க்கையில. ஏன்னா எல்லாம் நம்ம வாழ்க்கையில தெரியும் போது அந்த பயம்ன்ற ஒரு விஷயம் நமக்கு தேவையே கிடையாது. That is what I felt. When I joined my first organization, HCL, when I went to one of the big colleges in Chennai for a BPO hiring, அப்பதான் என்னோட இந்த ஜேர்னி ஆரம்பிச்சது. I think engineers today, graduates, arts and science colleges today definitely need a lot of industry, academia connect for them to understand what is the need of the hour. ஏன்னா நாங்க Me and Charles, when we go to colleges, we normally do the catwalks when the interviews happen. And we normally ask students, how do you feel? They feel, இல்ல சார் ரொம்ப நர்வஸா இருக்கு, ரொம்ப ஃபியரா இருக்கு. நான் சொல்ற ஒரே ஒரு விஷயம், உன்னை பற்றி அறிந்தால், if you understand who you are and what you have learned in your 3-4 years, I think the person who is going to sit next to you is going to just enjoy your presence for the next few minutes. That is what I always translate it whenever I talk to students. So இன்னைக்கு வந்து நான் வந்து ஓகே ரொம்ப தைரியமா பேசுறேன்னா வந்து அடிபட்டு அவமானப்பட்டு அசிங்கப்பட்டு தான் விவர். See, practice makes a person a perfect, no second thought about it at all. Hard work and practice, there is nothing substitute to both these words. ஓகே, நானும் சார்ல்ஸும் வந்து இத மாதிரி பேசுறது கூடிய தருணம் நான் முதல் வாட்டி இப்படி பேசுறேன்னா கிடையாது. சார்ல்ஸ் வேணா பேசியிருக்கலாம், ஐம் நாட் கம்பேரிங் வித் ஹிம். பட் நான் வந்து இன்னைக்கு ஒரு 1000 செஷன்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன்னா ஒரு 100 செஷன் வந்து விழுந்து எழுமிச்சுதான் வந்தேன். Okay, today I'm talking in 1000 sessions because I'm able to do because of my practice. So fear will be demolished, or whatever we call it, as through pure practice. So நீங்க அதை கண்டினியூஸா பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தீங்களாலே, I think fear is nothing. Charles, over to you.
Yes, I think he has explained. Now, just to add on, it's not just one-way process, right? No, you are not. No, for example, Joshua is my hiring manager. No, he is interviewing me. I'm as a candidate, I'm interviewing Joshua as well. Whether this company will work out for me, or whether this manager will be work out in a cover set, right? This typically paatha dating mari, right? Ellame ottu varuma. Right, both these sides, and both of you decide. It's not just Joshua as a manager, as a HR leader decides, but you decide as an individual, as a trainee, as an employee, as a as a fresher. So that's very, very important. It's both the sides, as simple as that.
Superb, sir. Okay. So even though our session's name is How to Crack Your First Interview, but the first most thing was how to crack fear towards the interview. So that was both beautifully explained by both of you, sir. So I would like to ask Charles, sir, about one thing. Like, what is the first thing you would look in a fresher's resume?
Fresher's resume. Yes. I will see the important thing which I will look at now, what is different in this profile. Right. 15-20 years resume லட்சக்கணக்கா பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம், and seeing the same kind of format, as Joshua mentioned, having your name, your hobby, your parents' name, your college details, your marks, and so on. What is that unique is available in your resume, right? So that defines who you are, other than the first impression. That hardly about 20-30 seconds of my time, which goes into that particular resume, that uniqueness. Instead of 4-page or 10-page of resume, or even today, if you have your infographics, format, to have it in 1-page resume or a video profile, which I referred to, and that's the unique thing which I will look at. எனக்கு அந்த 10 செகண்ட் பார்க்கிறதுக்கு அந்த பேப்பர்லயோ அந்த வீடியோலயோ பொறுமை இருக்கா, அந்த பொறுமையை இழக்காதபடி நீங்க காமிச்சிருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னா, you have already completed your first level of interview.
Yes, the grabbing attention towards the interviewer is very important. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah. So standing out, defining what a person is, what a candidate is truly important, like you said, sir. Say after you figure out, say you look at a resume and they do stand out, and if you can interview them in person, in a physical interview, what is something that you notice? What is something important in a person in a physical interview that you notice?
Okay, so I would say, example, I think Joshua will not mistake me. Today, see, he has gone for a different event. He was on travel. In spite of all these schedules, he found for a Sunday afternoon, okay, today, he got an interview or a session now, right? He wanted to be available, presentable, and so on. In spite of all the challenges, he has given the best, I would say. He could have come in a casual T-shirt, or he could have taken this call from an airport. right? He found a place, without any disturbance, in a good background. Yeah, the way he has presented himself, hats off. My dear friends, in spite of wherever you are, can you give the best? Today I was unwell for the last three days. I was under medication, but still, my family was scolding. Do you really want to give it, give it a try today? But I felt, in spite of all the challenge, I want to give the best. Right? Can you make other people feel that you have given the best? That's more than enough. I can't define. No, now like what are the memes போடுவாங்க எனக்கு இதுல வரும் இன்ஸ்டாகிராம்ல. சார் நீங்க தாடி வச்சிருக்கீங்க, தாடி வச்சிட்டு வரலாமா இன்டர்வியூ? I don't have an answer. Maybe I will like it. I will encourage. Maybe Joshua, I don't know. Right? You have to decide. நீ எப்படி இருக்கணும்னு. Be you அதனால தான் சொல்லிட்டோம். Right? No, we didn't say that. No, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir mari full suit la vaanganu sollala. Right? Be you, be yourself. Whatever way you want to carry. If you want to come in t-shirt and shorts, if you have the guts, come to the interview like that. If you have a confidence that you can do well. Example. Now I'll give another example. Or kalyanathu eppadi poganum theriyum. Right? ஒரு சாவுக்கு எப்படி போகணும்னு தெரியும், ஒரு விசேஷத்துக்கு காது குத்து விழாக்கு எப்படி போகணும்னு தெரியும். I think today students are very smart. அவங்களுக்கு இது சொல்லி தரணும்னு அவசியமே கிடையாது. Give your best. இடம் பொருள் ஏவல், தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவாங்க. இடம் பொருள் ஏவல். Give your best for whichever. யூஎஸ்ல ரொம்ப பிடிச்சது, எஸ்பெஷலி இன் ஃபாரின் கண்ட்ரிஸ், ஒரு இறுதி சடங்குக்கு, ஒரு இறுதி மரியாதைக்கு கோட் சூட்டோட போவாங்க. நான் இதே என் வீட்டுல ஏதாவது ஒண்ணுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். ரைட்? என் வீட்டுல ஒரு இழப்பு, அதுக்கு யாராவது கோட்டு சூட் போட்டு வந்தாங்கன்னா கழுத்து பிடிச்சி வெளியில தள்ளலாமான்னு தான் வரும். Right? That's how our culture or my. So idam poril veival. Give your best is my answer.
Thank you very much, sir. Giving your best, obviously, yes. Thank you, sir. And Joshua, sir, how about you, sir?
சார்ல்ஸ், எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இதோட ஒரு பெஸ்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுக்க முடியுமான்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. பிகாஸ் I think we are all ambassadors of the industry and we should definitely be an example. ரொம்ப அழகா சொன்னாரு. முந்தா நேத்து கூட ஒரு கடப்பா காலேஜ்ல இருக்கும் போது, சார் தாடி வச்சுட்டு இன்டர்வியூ வரலாமான்னு அழகா அவங்களும் கேட்டாங்க. So my point is, if you're coming in beard, if you're presentable, I always look in two things. ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்லக்கூடனா your smile and your body language and the way you present yourself, right? ஆள் பாதி ஆடை பாதி. அதுல எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் நானும் சார்ல்ஸும் குறைஞ்சவங்களே கிடையாது. சும்மா எல்லா ப்ரோக்ராமுக்கும் மாப்பிள்ள மாதிரி தான் போவோம். அது எல்லாரும் சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயம். நம்ம ஹீரோ நம்ம தான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் நான் போறேன். So why I'm telling you all these things is, நாளைக்கு ஒரு ஹெச்ஆர் இப்படி வராங்கன்னு போடும்போது ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு மோட்டிவேஷன் இருக்கணும், ஒரு என்து இருக்கணும். So that is what I always sell, and I always self-talk to myself is be an example to somebody else. Somebody else has to see you and learn. Okay? And also not leaving their identity. I have my own identity. Charles has their own identity, and you two presenters are having your own identity, and all the students should definitely have their own identity. Copying is not a problem, but how do you copy and carry yourself is the most important question. So my point is, smile and your body language when you enter any process of interview. நான் யாராவது சிரிச்சானா நான் விழுந்துருவேன். I'm a person of smile. I'm a person, I just love somebody smiles, right? At the end of the day, you will not know what that person undergoes, but ஒருத்தரை பார்த்து சிரிச்சினாலே அது ஒரு அழகான கெஸ்டர். சார்ல்ஸ் யூஎஸ்ல அந்த ட்ரெஸ் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொன்ன மாதிரி, I've been to few countries apart from India. நீங்க நோட் பண்ணிருப்பீங்க, அவங்க எதிரில வரும்போது உங்களை பார்த்து சிரிச்சு உங்களை how are you கேட்டுட்டு போய்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. நீங்க அவங்க கூட ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கக்குள்ள ஒரு 1/2 கிலோமீட்டர் போயிருப்பாங்க. அவங்க I'm fine, thank you, how are you கேக்குறதுக்குள்ள. So my point is, that is what the culture they bring in. So my point is, know how to talk to people. Handshake ரொம்ப அழகா ஃப்ரிம்மா கொடுக்கறதுக்கு, ஒரு ஸ்மைல், ஒரு ட்ரெஸ், அதுவே half done. If you're coming to me as an interviewer, என்கிட்டலாம் இன்டர்வியூ செலக்ட் ஆக ரொம்ப ஈஸி. I'll give that space, I'll give that smile. So my point is, don't make a very complex process. Interview is the coolest and the easiest process to crack.
Wonderful, sir. நீங்க சொன்னதெல்லாம் absolutely right. Like smile பண்ணாலே வந்து we feel some kind of pleasantness, and it's nice to talk to people who smile more. And what the thing I wanted to ask is, like, many rounds இருக்கும்ல interview. In that major round is group discussion, right? So in group discussion வரும்போது, even a person who has more points to speak up, or more talent to show, or more data இருக்காங்க கிட்ட, but still some kind of hesitancy or some kind of complexity will stop them as a barrier to speak up. So how can we overcome that in group discussion? I can Charles can answer first.
Okay, group discussion, I feel two ways of looking at. Number one, yes, whatever I want to convey, I'm taking that platform, taking that particular time and effort and giving the best. Number one. Number two, I should definitely be very, very cautious and give space for others as well, encourage others to speak, right? That's very, very important. These are the two things. Now one, you find your selfie edukra mari da selfie ku, I have about 10 people surrounded by me. I want to show my face as well. At the same time, I should not disturb others as well. மற்றவங்க மூஞ்ச மறைச்சு நான் போய் முன்னாடி வைக்கிறது கிடையாது. So this is the key thing which I will look for as far as a group discussion is concerned. That's important. ஏன்னா ஒரு டீம்ல வந்து, ஒரு கம்பெனில வந்து மற்றவங்களுக்கு டீம்ல எப்படி விட்டு கொடுத்து கொலாபரேட் பண்ணி பண்றாங்கன்றது, that shows who you are, right? rather than நானே பேசிட்டு நானே அந்த கம்ப்ளீட் ஸ்பேஸ் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு. So have your space, give space for others as well.
Okay, sir. Joseph sir, what do you say?
நான் ஒரு 3-4 சி வச்சிருந்தேன். அதுல ஒரு சி அழகா சார்ல்ஸ் சொன்னார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட், எந்த குரூப் டிஸ்கஷன் சொன்னாலும் ஒரு டாபிக், அது என்ன டாபிக்குடைய கிளாரிட்டி வந்து நம்ம பசங்களுக்கு தெரியணும். நிறைய பேர் வந்து நம்ம கேட்டிருப்போம் ஒண்ணு, அவன் ஏதோ பேசிட்டு இருப்பான். அது நிறைய இடத்துல நடக்கும். அது நாங்க நிறைய இடத்துல என்கவுண்டர்ட் இட். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் திங் இஸ் த கிளாரிட்டி ஆஃப் தாட்ஸ். Second thing is the clarity of thoughts enough? We should have the communication skills to articulate it. Okay, எனக்கு clarity இருக்கு. So how do I coordinate with my fellow colleagues sitting there? You have given 1 minute to win it, right? At the end of the day, தனக்கு தெரிந்த எல்லாத்தையும் பேசுறதுக்கு அது it is not an interview process, or it is not ஒரு பொதுக்குழு கூட்டம் கிடையாது. It is about that 1 minute. நீங்க HR பார்த்தாலே தெரிஞ்சிடும், he is convinced with the way you have presented your point. So அமைதியாயிடும். ஓகே, என்னோட அடுத்த 9 colleagues or your students பேசட்டும்னு சொல்லிட்டு. The last most important thing is, எல்லாம் முடிஞ்ச பிறகு closure of discussion ஒன்று சொல்லுவாங்க. எல்லாம் பேசி முடிச்சோன்னா HR அப்படியே பார்ப்பாரு. Sir, I wants to get to your notice that all my friends spoke nice pointers, out of which these 2-3 pointers are, I think, to my understanding, is அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு closure of discussion. So clarity, communication skills, coordination, and the closure of discussion. I think a GD should have all the 4 pointers.
Absolutely, sir.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And the answer was really nice. The 4 C's, the clarity, closure, communication, and coordination, was truly well said. Audience side, Linda, actually, there were a lot of questions regarding one of the C's that you mentioned, which is communication. Communication is an aspect that covers all 4 of the C's, including itself. So how important is communication in an interview process? Because one person might have the knowledge, the skill, and everything required for a job, but he may not be able to communicate himself properly or show himself. So how can one person communicate well? How can he show himself out?
Charles, you go first.
Okay, so I think this has been covered beautifully by Joshua earlier. See, we have come till this phase, with a lot of practice, a lot of platform, lot of opportunities, which we have grabbed to, and the opportunities came our way too. So I would say, I think if you are in a college, if you are in your final year, I think this is not the right time for you to think that whether communication is required. Right, from day one in your school, day one in your college, you should have taken some effort. But nevertheless, it's okay. Whatever happened so far, let's forget about it. and let's see whether I'm taking some effort to practice communication, right? எங்களை மாதிரி கம்பெனில Zoho corporationல English தெரியலனாலும் we don't mind. I don't mind. But there are few roles which demands for English, fair English as well. And now I would say, what is the effort you have put in? And what is the, what is the effort you have put in to break that myth? In terms of எனக்கு வராது இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம்ல தான் படிச்சிருப்பேன், but I will not give it a try. And so practice, which will help you to give your best speech, give your best communication, or whatever you call it as. So practice will help you to scale up. And இப்போ இதுவே பார்த்தோம்னா I do this. Now, after any of these sessions, virtual or physical event, I don't share the video with anybody, but I share it within myself. 10 தடவை போட்டு பார்த்து அதுல 5 பாயிண்ட் 6 பாயிண்ட் ஐயோ இந்த வார்த்தை யூஸ் பண்ணாம இருந்திருக்கலாம், right? So that is what communication according to. It's not just English. It's not just about, yes, you can improve, within the short span. Now, வீட்ல ஒரு 4 தடவை tell me something about yourself or 10 தடவை செல்ஃபி வீடியோ எடுத்து பார்த்தோம் உங்களுக்கு போட்டு பார்த்து உங்களுடைய க்ளோஸ் பீப்புளுக்கு நீங்க ஷேர் பண்ண விரும்புனீங்கன்னா அவங்களுடைய பார்வை எப்படி இருக்குன்னு. No, I share it with my close folks, close mentors, who can really give a very, very solid feedback. கஷ்டமான feedback-ஆ இருக்கும். Right? After the session, I religiously go and ask Joshua brother, asking, brother, ஏதாவது feedback இருந்தா கொடுங்க. Right? I want to improve. So that's how your learning process should be. So communication is something, you focus on, have a repeat mode to see whether you have progressed yourself, and have mentors. Joshua already covered. Mentors எல்லாம் அதுக்கு தான் லைஃப்ல. இது கரெக்ட், இது இப்படி பேசலாம், அது அப்படி பேசலாம், இந்த வார்த்தை யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. This is not the right appropriate platform for you to use these kind of language or this kind of words and so on. So have somebody, have a goodwill person, who can help you saying, this is wrong. Yes, Joshua.
Absolutely, I guess. Like
beautifully said. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No sir, please go ahead.
Okay, so இங்கிலீஷ் மட்டும்தான் படிக்கணுமா அப்படின்னு நிறைய பேர் ஒரு கேள்வி வச்சிருக்கிறாங்க. When I spoke in Sun TV last year, also spoke English is another medium of language. How do we articulate is very important. And as Charles very rightly said, there is no second thought or no second process in terms of the practice is concerned. But to all the audiences here, my friends, Makale, Nanba, Nanbis, my only request to all the people here is English oda nirthadinga, because my earlier organization I was handling the APAC hiring for 7 countries. எனக்கு வந்து இங்க என்ன ஒரு பெரிய சேலஞ்சுனா hiring Japanese people, Mandarin, Chinese, Philippines, Singaporean language ஹையர் பண்றது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். அதனால நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா வந்து ஒரே ஒரு வாழ்க்கை ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், ஓகேங்களா? ஸோ அதனால வந்து கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டப்படுங்க. And I will tell you after which I think your life will be totally different war zone altogether. வாழ்க்கையில கஷ்டமே இருக்காத சார் அப்படி நான் சொல்லவே வரல, பட் ரொம்ப ஈஸியா இருக்குன்னு சொல்ல வரேன். Also learn something on French, German. Make a second or a third language little mandatory in your life. So don't stop, sir. Don't be content in your life. ஏன்னா என்ன பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் I have already hit 40. I'm not sure whether Charles is 25 or 30. I'm still எனக்கு தெரியாது. ஸோ அதனால வந்து இப்ப என்ன வந்து ஒரு ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜ் படிக்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா நான் வந்து ஒரு 100 வாட்டி யோசிப்பேன். ஆனா நீங்க இங்க இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாம் வந்து you should be 18, 19. So my friends, let me tell you one thing very clearly. இன்னொரு 1-2 வருஷத்துல ஏதாவது ஒரு ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜையும் கத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா you will definitely be an additional language where you can do that, and you can also fly to different countries, and the opportunities are today humongous. Okay, so not only English, there are a lot of other language also to be learned. That's my end point.
Surely, sir. Like learning additional languages definitely an added advantage to a resume too, right? Because also we have a lot of courses in online also to learn languages. So we have multiple resources for that, and we'll surely do that, sir. And I have one question to Charles, I got this question after hearing your experience, basically. There are few people who might have had some failures during their school or college days, like arrear vechirukkalam, illa fail aayirukkalam. They would have lost 2-3 years in their life as a wasteful சும்மா வீட்டிலே இருந்து அப்படியே போயிருக்கலாம். But after having some experience or skills, after they develop themselves, when they go into an interview, when they see the resume, they're like interviewers வந்து பார்ப்பாங்கல்ல, like why is there a failure or why is there a arrear in your academic background. So but even though the person is very skilled, how can an interview believe in him that he is skilled and not look into the past experience of that particular person? Is that possible? Like அவங்க வந்து ஜாபுக்கு எடுத்துக்க வாய்ப்பு இருக்கா?
Okay, I would like to. I'm not sure now how you will be able to connect, but I feel this will make sense. 2 years, the entire world has been affected with COVID, and the entire nation or our entire state have gone through this pandemic uncertainty or whatever we call it as. 2 வருஷம் கழிச்சு போன வருஷம், especially in the last 6 months, let's be focused on today is what April. Last 6 months உடைய டேட்டா எடுத்து தமிழ்நாட்டுடைய growth எடுத்து பாருங்க. Every company you name, majority of the companies which has bounced even during their tough times, right? Performance எவ்வளவோ வேற லெவல்ல போயிருக்கு. Yesterday யோசித்து பாருங்க, 2 வருஷம் entire nation, entire globe, entire job industry was like shaking. நேத்து பாக்குறேன் கிஸ்ஃப்ளோ உடைய CEO சுரேஷ் சார் 5 எம்ப்ளாயிஸ்க்கு BMW கொடுத்திருக்காரு. இங்க நாங்க அடுத்த வேவ பத்தி பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம். எப்படி மனசு வரும் அவருக்கு கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு? Because he know எவ்வளவு வேவ் வந்தாலும் I will be able to bounce back. All right, I don't care about my 5th or 6th or 7th wave. I will be able to bounce back. I would say fear, failure அப்படின்றது வந்து failure, for example, failure அப்படின்றது how I have bounced back myself. That's very, very important. I will give this example. I had so much failures in my life. Right? கல்யாணம் பண்ணதே ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரகிளுக்கு அப்புறம் தான். யூஎஸ்ல இருந்து வீட்டுல இருந்து அனுப்பி விட்டாங்க. யூஎஸ்ல இருந்து அந்த பொண்ணை சிங்கப்பூர் வர சொல்லி நான் பெட்டி படிக்கலாம் எடுத்து சிங்கப்பூர் போய் வாழ்க்கையில அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரிஸ்க் சம்பாதிக்கணும், ஒரு லைஃப் வேணும்னா I have to take that risk. Right? I don't care about anything, whether it's a job, whether it's my employment, whether it's my new business. I don't care. I want to bounce back irrespective of whatever failure I've gone through. I'll give this example. So many years back, I had a failure. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I can call that as a failure. One fine day, I was invited, I was working in a consulting role I was traveling across different places. I was in Delhi. I wanted to come back to Chennai because I love Chennai like anything. One fine day, I said about social media, how it is powerful. One of the chief editor of a particular company, he invited me for a Skype interview. I thought, I wanted to give the best because I wanted to come back to Chennai. Right? I prepared myself. Evening 3:30 was the interview. It was a Skype interview. Adula theriyum idupukku, shirt chest கீழ ஒண்ணும் தெரியாதுன்னு, பட் இருந்தாலும் full formals எல்லாம் நான் ப்ரிப்பேர்டா உட்கார்ந்திருக்கேன் Skype இன்டர்வியூக்கு. And then not even 60 seconds, my dear friends, this is what he said. That gentleman said, Charles, I have never seen you, but I've heard about you. Charles, I have never seen you, but I have heard about you. Second question was, are you interested in this role? The third question, how soon you can join? That's all. 60 to 90 seconds, my interview got over. I have never seen them. My dear friends, irrespective of who is watching, who is seeing ourselves, if you can give your best and ensure that with a lot of with fullest confidence, if you feel that you can give back, sky is the limit. Another example I can say, the company where I work right now, it was just over a WhatsApp message I got my appointment.
Wonderful.
The person just texting me, would you be interested in this role? That is the power of being you wherever you are, whether somebody is watching or not. Right? Big boss maridanga, simple as solla pona, expect the unexpected, ensure that the entire world is watching you. You don't care about anybody, but you care about yourself. ரைட்? உலகமே பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கு. நம்ம நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கலாம் நான் வீட்டுல உட்காந்துட்டு நான் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்னு, பட் என்டையர் வேர்ல்ட் இஸ் வாட்சிங் யூ. Right? When you want to step into your career, when you want to step into your entrepreneurship journey or whatever you call it as, even if nobody is watching you, give your best and ensure that you are coming out of all those fears. I think that inspiring stories, that inspiring journey, that and the புரட்டி எடுத்த மூமெண்ட்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, நம்ம வாழ்க்கையே புரட்டி அதை வந்து கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ண முடிஞ்சது அப்படின்னா for the interviewer, I think you will be able to get that conviction from the other side as well.
Yes, sir, surely. I am also sure that Joshua sir will also agree to the point what Charles has said. Anything you want to like to add up, sir?
I think he has covered everything. We can go to the next question.
Yes, sir. So my next and final question for the day is to you, Joshua sir. So what are the job opportunities for the arts graduate, basically like BBA, BSc, BCom, in basically in IT industry?
Okay, today there's humongous opportunities levied across the board. I will not talk about the engineering. Till 2025, their market is going to be unshakable. யாரெல்லாம் வந்து இவெல்லாம் உருப்பட மாட்டான், இவனை வச்சு எப்படி வேலை செய்யறவன்லாம் இன்னைக்கு வந்து ஃப்ரெஷர்ஸ் ஹையர் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. So they have no other choice to do because lateral hiring has literally gave them a toss. So my point is today, arts and science colleges are also making a presence to the IT organization. There are two types of things which is happening today, irrespective of whether it is Mphasis or Wipro or TCS or the Accentures or the Cognizance of the world. ரெண்டு விஷயமா பார்க்கறாங்க. One is there was somebody who is also telling, please talk in English, so I'll just make my point in English. They're telling that the point is there are two types of hiring. One is we are tying up with most of the bigger universities like your Pitts Pilani, your Symbiosis, your XLRs of the world, and giving them the higher education, whether that is the earn while you earn or learn or while you earn, whatever you call it as a program. That is one. And the second thing is the raw freshers, where they will be trained in irrespective of whatever technologies, and they will be deputed to the projects. So if you are really capable of cracking those interviews, your BSc IT, computer science, and BCA people who are listening to this, you can apply through our portals or any companies, and any organization is hiring on those areas. And if you are really passionate about traveling, and also there are 2-3 things which I want to tell you. One is people talk about emotional quotient, people talk about intelligent quotient. Not many talk about this quotient called adaptability quotient, AQ. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஒரு விஷயம். After pandemic, are you willing to relocate to other locations? Illa sir, I'm very much comfortable in Coimbatore, I'm very much comfortable in Kolkata, I'm very much comfortable. நீங்க அங்கே தான் இருக்கணும் வாழ்க்கை ஃபுல்லா. Okay, you need to really make that attempt, learn. நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், if you are asking us, I will not do it because you already crossed 2 decades of my career. If at all a different opportunity knocks my door, maybe I can take it up. But for you to enrich your life, to see a differentiator in your career, you need to definitely go out of your comfort zone. So adaptability quotient is the most important stuff. See, technology yaar vana kattukalanga, okayla. Technology, anybody is just 2-3 weeks of classroom training. Anybody today, me and Charles can sit in one classroom and we can learn the Javas or the Pythons or the Cythons of the world. That is not going to make a difference. Are you having that attitude? Are that person having that quotient in us? That is the first and the foremost question is kept in front of every fresher we are interviewing. அவ்வளவுதான்ப்பா. ஸோ இன்னைக்கு வந்து அவர் வந்து ஒரு 3 லட்சமோ 4 லட்சமோ சேலரி இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணலாம், பட் டோன்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் the initial part of your career. Lieutenant Colonel JPR, everybody knows him, late JPR. Whenever we go to his college, Satyabama University, ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்ற 2 லைன், entry is not important, exit is important. அதே மாதிரிதான், the moment you get into the corporate services, when you start your slow learning, right, and the entire stuff takes care of you, and when you start getting into the corporate world, you have to still keep learning, and your process continues from there. Learning agility, continuous learning takes part. So my point is continuous learning, your adaptability quotient, and be open in whatever technology we are training you in. You are done and your career is taken care in whichever organization you join for. Hope I answered that question.
Absolutely, sir. Yes, actually, it's really clarity in the answer. It was really clear, and I could actually relate most of the thing what you said, because in our ISM business school we are actually doing some activities related to all of these skills and talent development, and about corporate world. How does it actually எப்படி இருக்கும் கார்பரேட்னா எப்படி இருக்குங்கிறது எல்லாமே வந்து எங்க ஐசன் பிசினஸ் ஸ்கூல்ல சொல்லி தராங்க. So it was really relatable, and I could actually connect to what you said. So it was really amazing, sir. Thank you. And I think the panel discussion what we had now was really inspiring to many of the people who's watching this. And in YouTube, it has crossed around 4,500 views. So around that many people are actually watching us talking about interviews and stuff. So, and I think myself and Srini have covered a lot of things in the questions.
Mukta, sorry to interrupt. Please take up the questions from the chat. There are 1 or 2 questions you've missed, I believe. Panelists, kindly spare few more minutes so that we'll cover some questions, which is very important in the chat.
Surely,
I understand that. Yeah.
2 of the questions were actually answered by the speakers, ma'am. So I'll just check it on other questions too. Okay, sir. So Sanjan Kumar have asked, what's the keywords used that we need to use in a resume to crack your interview?
I think that was answered by Charles some time back. See, there are most questions which is twittered and twittered in terms of your own words at the end of the day. My point of view would be, whatever you know, just write it in the resume. There is nothing called sweet words or salt words in the resume. Romba simple ana vishayam. What you know, you know. What you don't know, you don't know. Okay, very simply put. If you copy somebody's resume, please know that what you've copied from somebody's resume, and answer that questions. Very simple. And don't say, sir, I don't even know this word exists in my resume. No, that will be the biggest blunder you do it in an interview process. And say, sir, did I put that word in that resume? No. So my point is, what you know, and what you don't know, you don't know. And in the interview process, don't try to blabber or tell wrong answers to a question which the interviewer asks us. Right? Always tell that person, sir, I don't know this question. Can I answer this area where I'm familiar of? We are not some aliens who will say, no, you need to only answer my question. I have never seen any interviews doing that. Okay, please answer to that question. Finished. You are done for the day. The integrity and the truthfulness, what you show in the interview process is more important.
Yes, sir, correct. What he said was actually right. So more than using adjectives or unique words in resume, what is true, you put into the resume. That's what you're saying, right? Okay, sir. So my next question in the chat box was, what is the most or repeated mistake that a fresher make in an interview that makes them to obviously get into a rejected form? I think Charles sir can answer.
The biggest mistake would be, maybe in the recent times, I would say, or Joshua sana madri, what I don't know is I don't know, right? But even if I don't know, trying to give some, ABC answer, and still trying to cover that up, right? That is the biggest mistake. Accept. The important lesson which I have learned, especially during the interview process, especially with youngsters, would be, if you have done something, acknowledge. That's very, very important, right? I thought of playing a video, but I think that will take more time. But a short video, which I have seen in the recent times, which was trending in all the social media channels. In one of the Tamil channel, I think not Nia Nana, a similar Nia Nana in Z Tamil. அதுல வந்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஒரு சைட், பேரண்ட்ஸ் ஒரு சைடு இருக்காங்க. ஒரு பையன் சொல்றான், எனக்கு ஆன்லைன் வேர்ல்ட் வாஸ் வெரி வெரி ஈஸி பிகாஸ் பிஃபோர் ஈவன் posting or answering, ஒரு question வருது, that question is posted in a particular Telegram or a WhatsApp group, and students get answers, and they are scoring high marks, who have, what they have never imagined before COVID times. Right? Today, I don't mind sharing, there are so many, Telegram groups or WhatsApp groups. I'm not promoting here. I'm making an underlined statement here. Be careful. You can crack an interview, my dear friends. You can't crack your entire life in a company. A college like ISSM and LOYOLA or MOP or DG Vaishnav can get you an offer, best offer from Zoho, best offer from Mphasis or any of the top companies in the world, my dear friend. You can't stay there for 24 hours if you are not confident enough. Interview ஒரு பொய் சொல்லி கல்யாணம் பண்ணி சொல்லுவாங்க. கல்யாணம் பண்ணிட்டு யார் குடும்பம் நடத்துறது? Right? You get an offer, you get a company, you want to crack an interview by, giving whatever, however you want to cover that up, or poi solli, giving a, answer and trying to cover that up. Poi paathukalam, no, it's okay, let me get the job, and no, that will not work out, my dear friends. You can be there for a month. Today, I will give a stat. Freshers being in the organization for minimum 6 months to 18 months has reduced like anything. Very rare freshers being in the organization for a minimum period of 3 years in a company. Right? You jump. How long you can jump? After 5th year, you come to Joshua sir, and for a job, he will see the profile. You have jumped for about 4-5 organizations. Why should Joshua sir should give an opportunity in his company when you are switching jobs? Right? So set your standards right from your first interview. That will be my humble request, my dear friends. Today, or tea with kuda nama polachikalam. Look at Chai Kings as an example in Chennai. The way they have grown. If you have a concept, you might, or saloon which in world level, Natural Kumaravel sir has really established a brand called Naturals. You don't need to crack an interview by telling a lie and be there for hardly about couple of days or couple of months or couple of years. How long you can sustain the job, my dear friends? That's the question. Palanal Thiridan or Nal Agapaduandra Madri, my humble request would be. அது அவசியமே கிடையாது. இன்னைக்கு யோசித்து பாருங்க, கோவிட் டைம்ஸ்ல எனக்கு கத்து கொடுத்தது என்ன தெரியுமா? இந்த உலகத்துல நீங்க என்ன வேணா பண்ணி லைஃபை ஓட்ட முடியும். You don't need to depend on Mphasis. You don't need to depend on Zoho for your monthly salary, my dear friends. If you are not able to crack your interview, it's okay. Go and have your tea shop or go and have your saloon and create your international brand, which can have a credibility for yourself and for your brand. Right? That will be my humble request. So, நிறைய blunder பண்றதுல one single blunder which I am seeing, எனக்கு தெரியும் அந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட் அந்த கேண்டிடேட் எந்த அரட்டை குரூப்ல, எந்த டெலிகிராம் குரூப்ல, எந்த வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல அவன் போஸ்ட் பண்ணி அதுல ஆன்சர் எடுத்து இது பண்ணான்றதுலாம் I was able to crack. ஒரு பசங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்னாலேயே இவ்வளவு பண்ண முடியும்னா ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி கம்பெனில இருக்கிற Mphasis ஜோஷுவா சாரும் நாங்கெல்லாம் எவ்வளவு பெரிய தில்லாலங்கடியா இருக்கும். Right? So my dear friends, don't take me wrong. Don't take us wrong. If you can't crack your interview, don't crack your interview. Go and crack your entrepreneurship job. Fight for it and build your credibility. நாளைக்கு இன்டர்வியூ பண்ணுவீங்களே, அங்க ஒருத்தன் ஏமாத்துவான். You try and go and you try and crack whether you can samalify that small want which somebody has done for you.
Exactly. Like our summary மாதிரி சொல்லணும்னா, being true to yourself will obviously give us a success, is what you're saying. Wonderful, sir. And over to Srini.
Yes, thank you.
Srini, before you proceed, I want to thank both the speakers. It is a wonderful. I'm Dr. Parkavi, the Youth Services Director from Rotary Club of Madras and also the Managing Director of ISSM Business School. Like a wonderful, every word both of you mentioned in the whole at least two hours time, every word is important, and this is the greatest message you could give it to 4,000 plus youngsters, and which is very, very important. Thank you so much, HRs, both of you, Charles and Joshua. It is wonderful to meet all like online. I'm really thrilled to invite both of you to my campus and like have a HR conclave. have a HR conclave and like which will benefit. I'm sure like if you spend some time with our students, I'm definitely sure it will benefit our students. Thank you so much for joining, and my heartfelt thanks to both of you for being with us and enriching our thoughts for our young Rotaractors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please proceed,
Thank
moderators.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. This is to an audience question, but before I proceed, I'd like to apologize for not being able to show my video. There has been a small technical glitch, but let me continue. Speaking of integrity and the people, is there any limit on how much we can talk, or any limit on how much we can reveal to the interviewers, or what can we say?
என்னாச்சு? Srini, are you there?
Yes.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Mukta?
Yes, yes, you can continue. We can hear you.
So shall I repeat my question?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. So my question was, how much can you reveal in a personal interview, or to the question, tell me about yourself? That was my question.
How much? Sorry, we didn't get your question. Maybe Josh, brother, I don't know if you are.
He was asking like how much details can we reveal in a personal interview during tell me about yourself question is asked to us.
Okay. So datingல ஒரு பையன் பொண்ணு என்ன ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கோமோ to some extent, yes, right, almost similar, like what you can share and how you want to impress, meaning on a good how you want to impress somebody. There is no set formula or guideline that this you can share. Checklist கிடையாது, right? இது சொல்லலாமா, நம்ம சிங்கிளா அந்த ஃபார்ம் பண்றது கிடையாது an interview. So have your conviction, I would say, as simple as that. If you are convinced that you can share this within the given time, within that short span of time, and which will bring meaningful thought process for the interviewer to listen, right? For example, maybe I'll give an example. I am from a rural background. Idu thevaiya? Kashtapadra family sir, adukkaga Joshua sir enak vela kuduthruvaara? Right? It's a question, right? So find out what will bring meaning for that particular discussion, what will bring what will add value for that particular company, for that particular role, for that particular question, and see what best you can deliver within the short span of time.
Understood, sir. Okay.
The most important thing is how many of you really understand the company and what do they do during the interview process, before the interview process. If you're going to a Zoho interview, if you're going to an Mphasis or whatever company you go for, first understand what the company does. You're halfway through, and the rest questions you can answer. So be very particular on what you say, and most importantly, know your strength and weakness. If the interviewer is going to ask you about your weakness, you need to always tell about the weakness, if at all you have. If you don't, that's fine. And if at all you have something which can be converted to a strength, don't always talk about your weakness in the interview process. Okay, there's a way subtly you need to answer to that question, because as Charles sir said, we are all also from the backbenchers. Don't think today we are talking to you professional, you students, you're still professionals, yes. We have all done this notorious stuff. We have all done this things, and we know what freshers will say and what words means what. right? So be very, very calm and content in terms of what you speak about. There are people who talk a little more than expected. I think that is not needed at the end of the day, because every 5 minutes, the first 30 seconds then decides whether you are in or out. Very, very simple.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like being clear and concise in an interview and being prepared in an interview is really important to crack an interview. Great,
Yeah.
sir. Like incredibly, this event, the session was really incredibly well said, and the information and inputs that we got from both of you was really going to help in our placements for sure. And I'm not exaggerating, like the experience that I personally had is really very much memorable in my whole life would be. And of course, the session is really interesting that we got lots and lots of questions in both YouTube as well as Zoom, and many of them, and like about 95% I would say was actually already said by you, both of you. So I think most of the doubts would, what the audience had is cleared already. And yes, definitely we are going to conclude the session with a vote of thanks. So for that, I would request Dr. Anandi, the Secretary of Rotary Club of ISSM, to deliver the vote of thanks.
It is an honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. I thank our speakers, Mr. Joshua David Sir and Mr. Charles Godwin Sir, for sharing their valuable time, knowledge, and experience with the students. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our chief guest, President-elect Rotarian Jayashree Ma'am, Chairman of Youth Service Team Rotarian Shiv Kumar Sir, Additional Youth Service Chairman Rotarian PB Prasad Sir, Youth Service Director Rotarian Parkavi Mahalingam Ma'am from Rotary Club of Madras for giving us this opportunity. I, on behalf of Rotaract Club of ISSM Business School, JPR, LOYOLA, Madras, GSS, MOP, New College, SDNB, AVIT, and SIVET, would like to thank everyone for joining us today and making the session a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Dr. Anandi for a wonderful vote of thanks. And personally, I am the chairperson of this event, How to Crack Your First Interview. So I would also like to thank on my behalf. So I would like to thank my co-chairpersons, Jessie, Arunachalam, Asif, Saranya, Akshata, Suhail, Vidya, Shri, Pradeep, Subhashini from the clubs which Anandi mentioned. So very, very, very thank you to you guys and making this session a wonderful success. And also I would like to thank our mentors, our chief guest, Rotarian Jayashree ma'am, Rotarian Shiv Kumar sir, Rotarian Bhargavi ma'am, Rotarian Prasad sir for helping us conduct the session and giving everybody so wonderful information about their first interviews or basically job interviews. And finally, but never the least, like I should thank Mr. Joshua sir and Mr. Charles sir for giving us this lot of time. Like it's already lunchtime, but they're still waiting us to conclude the session. But the information and inputs from you, sir, it's really, really helpful for us. And I hope like almost everybody should crack the interview after attending the session. And there are a lot of wishes coming up on the chat boxes, and they're actually appreciating your time and your sharing the knowledge. So I also like to conclude by saying that thank you everybody for attending the session, and once again thanks for this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, moderators. It was a wonderful show. You kept up, and also the speakers. This my heartfelt thanks to both of you spending your valuable Sunday and sharing your thoughts with all our young minds. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Somebody could not take up the certificate. Can Mukta, can you give a WhatsApp number or some
Yes,
some link so that if somebody could not download their certificate, they can take up their certificate? Because
surely,
there were some people who have registered. If you're not able to get your certificates, contact the WhatsApp number which is given here. So they will try to give you the e-certificate. Thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you so much. I'm signing off. I'm Dr. Parkavi, Youth Services Director of RCM.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So the number put up in the chat box, you can contact the number if you have any problem in getting your e-certificate. Thank you everyone for joining the session.
Yeah. Thank you, Mukta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Srini. Thank you. It was a good job done by both of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Wonderful job.
Thanks for the opportunity, ma'am. It's all because of you.
Great, great. Keep up your good job.
Thank you.